I'm Eric at Ups and Downs Miniature Zebu Ranch in Citra, Florida, and this is Florida Natural Farming. Today I'm going to talk about wood chips. So somebody, I forget who it was, sorry, from the Northeast, I guess, made a comment that say, what's your thing with wood chips? Or is Florida, the thing with wood chips, a Florida thing? And they said they have planted thousands of trees in the Northeast, and the trees they never gave wood chips to didn't grow as fast. So, and I said, what do you mean by your thing with wood chips? There's my little calf, Peanut. FVF Peanut is her IMZA registered name. She's gorgeous. She's gonna be a year old. Yeah, the 27th of this month. It's Pepsi's daughter. She's built perfect. She's got the perfect body, I think. Square, muscular, deep-bodied, long, straight top, big brisket, nice color, feminine head, and perfect personality. Super sweet. It's my ideal calf. This is a heifer. This is a much younger heifer, our new heifer, Bogle Farms Butternut. And her sister got first place. Her mother gave birth to a cow that, or yeah, 3-year-old, I think, that got first place at the state fair. Gorgeous, gray and white paint. It's called Painted Sky, Bogle Farms Painted Sky. And then her, basically everyone but Carnation and Luna, our cow Luna and our cow Carnation, are related to the reserve champion at the state fair this year. So that was good. The bull's acting crazed because my partner hasn't been here for about a week. Down in Vero Beach, painting the whole interior of the house. Bless his heart. And our gray cow Carnation is in heat. She just, I don't know if she likes to have sex or what, but she just doesn't get pregnant the first time. Peanut's falling around. I hope she's not coming into heat. And this is Luna's heifer calf. She's like a ruby red color. I wonder if she'll let me, you could see. But if you're up close to her, she just glows like this ruby red color. She's gorgeous. This is her winter coat, of course, so in the summer she'll be much lighter. They change colors when they shed out. She's good looking too. She's a good looking little heifer. She's not gonna be very big. She's older than Peanut. She's a little squirrelier than Peanut. There's our 2-year-old bull calf, Cooper, FVF Cooper, F is for Frog Valley Farm. We've since been started calling, look at how nice she is. Started calling our newborn babies. There's a little pumpkin. She's our newest heifer. She's 3 months old. She's tiny. So she's a month younger than these guys. So we're going to start calling we started because we just registered pumpkin, Dale Hollish pumpkin is our new registered. So we start everything with Dale Hollish. Hollish is my partner's last name. I love them. So a lot of my basic programming for how I grow and what I believe in is from information I had about growing plants when I was 7. So always use cow manure to grow plants. Back when I grew up, they didn't have plastic. They didn't have these nurseries. They sold plants bare root. And you traded plants and you wrapped them in burlap or newspaper. Usually burlap, though. That's what all the grain and everything used to come in. And so I knew that you planted, our pastures are looking good. planted trees and used, or not trees, but plants in your garden and used cow manure, or used cow manure in your vegetable garden. Then you rototill it into the vegetable garden. But I knew that at 7. How do you grow plants with cow manure? And also something I knew at 7 was how to plant trees. So I've been planting trees since I was 7, I guess. And we planted trees as Cub Scouts in Mendocino County. Pine trees, maybe some redwoods. But we just planted them as plugs. I still plant the same way today, except I try to remove all my compost that I start our tropical fruit trees in, or our fruit trees, or our plants, I guess. Yes, we still have Frog Valley Tropical Fruit Farm. I love it. It's getting ready to be introduced at the improved price of 1.78, 1,780,000. But it's going to have all the pictures and everything. So I haven't been there in a while. My partner's been down there. But I'm going to have to live there a lot because of mango season coming up. So I'm excited to see what it is. So I planted thousands of trees there the way I planted them when I was 7, or from seed. So small little tiny trees, citrus like 2 inches tall, and directly in tall grass. And I started out using wood chips. So when you plant trees, when I planted trees as a 7-year-old, little trees, we just put a shovel into the soil and pushed it and dropped them in there, and then patted it with your hand and walked on. That's how you plant them. It's tiny little 2-inch or 1-inch plugs, I guess is what they were. Little tiny seedlings, basically all root. And plants that you planted in your yard, you just got bare root. Trees, I'm talking about trees. Trees were just bare root, and you dug a hole and you put them in there, and probably you watered. But you didn't water after that. This is in California in the 60s. And he walked away. But now everyone, because of programming today, from the way we've improved our growing methods over the years, people's programming tells them to put wood chips down. So I put wood chips down because I was programmed by the system. That's the best thing there is. And we didn't have a well, so I dry farmed everything. That's the reason why I learned to dry farm, because we didn't have a well and I was forced to do it. And I planted thousands of trees, well, probably 1,000 at this point, and put wood chips around them. But we used our wood chips that we chipped on from our farm. So pepper trees and oak branches and stuff like that, twigs. And we put them around the trees. We're organic certified, so we couldn't use municipal wood chips because they're not approved for organic production. So you can't get an organic certification if you use municipal wood chips. At least at the time we were certified organic. It hasn't been that long. So it doesn't make sense to me. I think you should be able to use this. I just don't get that. They let you use conventional cow manure for your organic gardens, but if it's composted, but they won't let you use municipal wood chips. Bizarre. They have some weird rules. I don't really follow it. It's dogma. It's program dogma. You got to know your farmer. That's how it works. So I put wood chips around the trees that we got on farm so that I wouldn't be in violation of the organic farm standard and the biodynamic farm standard, because we were biodynamic certified also. And expected these trees to be okay. Well, all the mangoes survived, but a lot of the other stuff survived. A few of the trees died. I've progressed since then and reverted back to my pre-programming years, what we did as a child, and plant everything without the soil. But back then I put the soil in the ground, and the soil is polluted usually from their nurseries. Definitely mangoes. And all the other, it came from Florida, it's polluted. That's how they grow. And so, but everything survived without watering it, which was surprising, but it never grew. And they had wood chips around them, and I was afraid to use raw manure back then. So I, at first, didn't use the raw manure. I just made compost out of it. But then I had always grown with manure, and it worked great. So I started doing it. And then we got the miniature Zebus. That's how we wound up with miniature Zebus. I wanted the best manure we could get. So we got donkeys and miniature Zebus. And we holistically grow them. This thing just gets crazed when my partner isn't here. It's weird. They have a weird bond. And so I started putting manure around, and a lot of the trees with wood chips, not a lot, but a big percentage, they weren't growing, so every little tiny tree was important, and they were expensive. Not as expensive as they are now. So this is at Frog Valley Tropical Fruit Farm in Vero Beach. And so my partner goes, what's going on with the trees? They worked a high-stress job. I hadn't had to work for a regular job since I was 39. So they let me do stuff at home, and that's why I was doing the farm up there. And so stuff wasn't growing. And so that, just wasn't growing. So, and you can't put wood chips across the whole thing. Thank God I couldn't, because I may have done that and severely impacted the system. And so we started adding manure, and some stuff got nutrient lock, because that's what can happen. No, it didn't get nutrient lock yet, but my partner being all upset. There's a little pumpkin. She's so cute. She's good friends with him. He's crazed. Got to remove that plastic tape. Remind me. Midnight. There's Pepsi. Hi, honey. Look at her. She's cute. That's her mother. Carnation. Bogle Farms Carnation. Pepsi turns red, and this red and brindle spots in the summer. I love her. She's my little angel baby. And so then we got the water turned on, and when I started watering, I didn't think about pH or anything like that. We didn't have any problems, because stuff was there, but it wasn't growing, but it wasn't dying. We had like 100 Rollinia trees, and so we got a artesian, not artisan, an artesian well put in that goes down 550 feet that unbeknownst to me had a low pH number, or no, a high pH. What is it? It's when the water's too sweet or too acidic. So it was too alkaline, that's what it was. And like super high. So when it was added to the wood chips, we put it on a drip system on the artesian well. And we just put it there around the grafted trees. And it killed, about a month later, all the Rollinia trees died. Except for the 2 I didn't water that were on the other side of the driveway that are fruiting finally. Of course, right when we sell the place. So the wood chips with the manure, with the high pH water, caused nutrient lockup and dysbiosis to the system. Just if the nutrient cycle can't work correctly, everything else gets screwed up. And the wood chips, I guess, suck nutrients out of the system. Of course they do. They hold water, so they'll suck up the water solution and hold it during times of drought. So it probably is okay. I don't know. In small amounts with like grass, that's what my thinking was, and not disturbing the grass and leaving all the debris on the ground. So people, we don't do wood chips, but we have these trees that should cover the ground with leaves, which they're starting to do. They used to rake it all up and burn it. Oh, it's like so irritating, but it's pretty here. So I don't know. I guess what I'm saying is the wood chips, using the wood chips was in that way was wrong. I'm not against wood chips, but I think they should be like distributedly lightly on the orchard floor, in combination with as many other things that you can do that are considered biological. So like not rock dust, that's mined substance. You don't want to use anything mined. But some hay, a little bit of hay. So that's what we've been doing around, I've been doing around the bananas. They're looking good. It's amazing. It was 26 degrees and the bananas never fried in this area. They didn't grow, which I knew they wouldn't because it's winter and we just divided them. But we never gave them water. They don't need water. They bring water to the system once the biology gets working, but it takes a while to get the biology working. So you add a little probiotic and a prebiotic. So the hay, it's organic hay left over from the cows that's been peed on, and cow dung, Zebu manure. So I was afraid to get this scraped out of the barns when the bull could run and jump. You saw him go through the plastic, jump through all the wire and start terrorizing me. Not mean, but irritating. Especially if I talked on the phone making videos. He hates that. Yeah, the bananas look good. I haven't gotten to here, obviously. So that's what I've been doing. Yeah, we don't use wood chips, but we try to incorporate whatever we have, and we don't have wood chips because I don't like the sound of the machines, and I believe it triggers a fear response in the trees, and it does in me because it's like loud and abrasive. The energy fields get distorted. Too much energy in a system is not good. And it's about fixing the energy in the alluvial plane of the soil, which is all compacted down from driving all over it and raking up all the debris. But it's here, so yeah, it's getting there. And I already put some fermented banana root, Frog Valley Farm soil, Zebu dung tea on it twice. So bananas look good. So yeah, the multi-species complexity that you have going on in your biological system trumps wood chips and the dogma from. But sorry biodynamic, I don't believe in the continuous use of the preps once you have your biological system going. I think it only needs to be done a couple times. And then if you're adding diversity, switch it up, but don't force people to continuously do the same thing, even if it compromises your system by allowing biodynamic preps in plastic to be sprayed all over your system from plastic. So it's I don't believe in that, not when it screws up your system, and plastic screws up your system. So just for that reason, I don't, that's allowed. I don't follow that. And I found that the raw cow manure with some hay is about the best input there is. So ideally, if you could just fling it small amounts throughout this whole system. But people have smaller yards, and their programming of what is pretty trumps what is right. And your misconceptions on what design should look like in a biological system distorts your reality that you infuse into your system. These trees look great. You had to think that something couldn't grow in this. There's no understory here. They removed it, and it's so flawless. And the ground is hard, which is how most people's systems are. The ground should be soft, cushion it, so that you entangle the waves rather than repel the waves, the energy waves, electromagnetic energy wave. Look at these bananas they were just like planted here with no water and just divided, and they're coming up. You got to remember, it was 26 degrees here, and it was below 30 several days. Or below 32, I guess, is what it is. Fahrenheit. Sorry, Australia. You know, we're Americans. So this is where I planted all our Garcinia madruno. And ideally, to make a system really good, people that have small yards, would be to add a lot of ginger and some heliconias and some other species in here of fruit tree seeds. And it would be good, like in a small area. Make it more wild and complex. That's the whole problem with our programming. It reduces it. You don't want reducer in biology. Those are your antioxidants, or your oxidants. Not your antioxidants, your oxidants. So I've been putting this around everything. This is from one of those green paddocks, but the one in the neighbor's property, who they said we could use their pastures. And the neighbor on the other side said we could use their pastures. It's cool. But it's elderly and had a